Good afternoon. Welcome. If you're new to the channel, welcome back. If you're a returning viewer, and today what I have is, if you read from the title, is El Cheapo X M5. I was able to pick it up for actually less, way less than the MSRP, and it was kind of used, but really what ended up happening is the person that purchased it, they purchased it for their spouse. That person didn't really care for the camera. And then, yes, it went right to Craigslist. It was initially listed on Craigslist for about 500 bucks. Or excuse me, it was listed for 800 bucks. Sat there for about 20 or so days. Then he dropped the price to about 700 bucks. Now, when I saw the ad, I actually didn't just only saw the body and the picture and the box actually in the ad. That was it. So when I got to the spot where we met to do the exchange, I didn't realize he was including the lens. So I was able to get the kit lens, which I turned around and actually sold. And that's the reason why I say the price is what it is, because I ended up making about 100 and something bucks off of the lens. So this camera really was about $596 all said and done. The only thing I've done to it so far is I've added the thumb grip because it's kind of tiny, and I actually got the small rig button. These actually came together. I looked at this camera before, back when I had the XT30 Mark II. And by the way, if you don't know, that camera, actually you probably don't know because I haven't mentioned it yet, I've actually moved on from. I took the XT30 overseas with me on vacation, as well as the XT3 that I'm shooting on, and I found myself using the XT3 and really just leaving the XT30 in the room. And mainly it's because my first few days shooting with it out in the street, I found it was a little bit too small and uncomfortable. And when I say small, this camera is small, but the XT30 to me, it's slimmer here. So for me, my hands, it just felt weird. And I actually added the grip to it at one point, an L bracket, and that really didn't help that problem. So yeah, I didn't really use it for its intended purpose. And because I really do video on the XT3 more so, yeah, I decided to get rid of it. But I do like to have two of the same type of body. And when I say that, same system. So in the event I do have a problem, I can have a backup. So I picked this camera up. And the thing I will say about this camera is I looked at it before when it first came out. Initially, when I looked at it, I took my XT330 with me to the store just to compare them, and I just felt like this was a little bit cheaper built, a little more plastic, but it's still quality. I mean, this is metal at the top. I mean, it still feels good in hand to me, but it was like, yeah, I don't really need that. And it wasn't, like I said, until I actually started using the XT3 for the thing I bought it for that I realized, like, okay, I don't really like this camera, but let me try something else. But when I saw this deal pop up, I'm like, well, looking for a body? Let me give it a try. Once again, I've only added the small rig attachments here, the thumb grip and the shutter button. And then I also, as always, I add the Peak Design anchors. I do have a small rig L bracket coming that's actually going to add a little more beef to this. It's got like a little, oh gosh, I think the handle's made out of maybe it's a foam or something, or plastic, but it had pretty good reviews. But it also has Arca Swiss plate, and it relocates this tripod mount over to the left so you can still use the battery or open the battery if you're mounting it to a tripod. So yeah, that was one of those things. I'm like, yeah, let me go ahead and get one of these, or get that too. Once again, I like buying stuff that serves more than one purpose. Now with this camera, the only real thing that I would say that I wasn't a huge fan of to begin with was the screen. But what I found with the screen is one of the features I like about my XT3 is that when I'm out shooting, if I actually want to shoot waist level, with my XT3, it actually flips out this way, but I'm doing the exact same thing. I can do that with this screen too, so I can still get the portrait shot waist level. So happy to be able to do that. I've had articulating screens on Panasonics, and I can fall back into it and get used to it. But the other thing I like about this screen is being able to just hide it and get an optical viewfinder and actually go out and just feel like it's more like old school and take photos. Of course, this lens didn't come on it. I have some new lenses that my next video, I'm actually going to use this camera to shoot my next video, because I've got two new editions of lenses that I picked up, and I got rid of some lenses too to replace those because I'm still trying to stay small. But I'll talk about those. Other thing I wanted to try with this camera was the external mics that are actually on it. Since, yeah, it seems like it increases the capability, and I would be curious to see how it sounds. So, once again, you can give me your feedback on the next video. Let me know what you think about the sound on the next video, since that one will be shot using this device with these external mics. If you got any questions, feel free, leave them down below. Click like, subscribe, and Agent Fit signing out.